Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick trade recap on a trade I took this week, both on traditional forex and on the Nadex platform. If you remember, the last time I uploaded a video, I mentioned that I was working with some people who are utilizing Nadex as their trading platform. So I just wanted to take it upon myself to get my feet wet with it. Again, I used to trade it a couple years ago, but I haven't really messed with it too much in the past couple years. But wanted to refresh myself with strikes, contracts, entry, exit, that type of thing. So I could really help these people take advantage of Nadex as their chosen platform. So traditional forex, let me just break it down here. You can see long term, if you zoom way out, you can see just taking our high here way back early last year, right about a year ago, and just connecting the tops. You can see we just recently came back up and retested that. Pushed up a little bit above it, but then eventually closed back below it. Now, if we zoom in here on more recent price action, you can visualize what was kind of going on here. You just kind of tighten this up a little bit here and there. You can see price pushing up. We topped out here up around that daily trend line. Now, depending on how you draw it, that's why trend lines are so subjective in the way you draw them. Some people use line charts, some people just use the wick, some people use the body. So really, I like to think of trend lines as a zone of support and resistance, just like horizontal support and resistance. Diagonal support and resistance is what I'm getting at. So, and if you take the overall most recent push, just this sore thumb high to sore thumb low, that 78.6 is right here. Okay, now if we just fatten that line up a little bit, you can visualize that based off of that. And on the shorter term, once we peaked out there and started breaking some structure to the downside, you can see the structural breaks here. Kind of broke that right in here. You can see that break, okay? Just looking at the most recent structural breaks was kind of right there. You can see that with the green, the white and black candlesticks. We push down, catch some support, bounce a little bit, big strong bearish candle breaking through that structure zone, come back up, push up above it, but we can never close back above that level there. So, this whole area to me is a support and resistance zone. Okay. Now, once we push significantly lower and then finally bottom out down here where we're at, previous resistance, turn support, we finally catch some bullish momentum. This was a big news announcement. I was at my computer at the time, and as the news came out, it pushed it right back up to some nice confluence of our most recent push down. That 61.8 literally sat on top of that overall higher time frame 78.6. You can see the intersection of these this little channel formation, squeeze up into these tops here, break, retest, all that coming together at all that confluence, not to mention our big daily trend line right here. Okay, so all that came together to warrant a nice low risk, high reward, short opportunity for me. So I entered right at the test of that confluence. My stop was 30 pips. Entry was actually right at 60. Actually, I think 58. 30 pip stop. My take profit was I wanted to see if price would push much lower back down towards our most recent hard support and resistance level that I could find. You could see that here. We come down, nice bounce, break, test, test, test. Couldn't get above it, and then finally, big bullish candle, broke it. Last time we were here, had a huge push off of it, so that's where I was kind of targeting. I took it right off at 71. 71 cents. So that was just over a 5-to-1 risk to reward. Now on Nadex, I was able to enter right around the same time a weekly strike. Now this blue line here represents my strike at the time. So as price was testing this zone of confluence up here, I sold the 72.25 weekly strike. Okay. Now that's a dead contract right now, meaning that I have to wait almost 3 hours to collect the next $2.75. I had, at the end of the day, on Friday, towards the end of the day, it's pretty low volatility, low volume, so I'm not expecting a 125 pip rally into the weekend. You never know, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to let this expire. Low risk. I risked 28.25, I believe, on that. So, almost, over 2-to-1. Okay, so we'll just call it $30 risk. I'm standing to make right around $70, so that's over 2-to-1 risk to reward on Nadex, which is a very important concept to grasp, to try and get at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward, because the majority of the, Nadex is set up to almost like a casino, okay? And that's why I don't trade it too often, because everything is centered around the house winning, okay? Your odds of winning aren't as great as theirs, okay? Unless you know what you're doing and, pick the right strikes at the right times of, expiry. You need plenty of time for some of these things to move, okay? Now you can see it took really, this is a 4-hour chart, so once price tests the levels and I entered, that's 4, 8, 12, 16, almost a full day to finally make its way back below my strike, okay, to the point where I could grab that 1-to-1, okay? A full 24 hours nearly to get that movement that I needed. Markets don't typically just stop and reverse. Sometimes they do. Most often they don't. They'll consolidate a little bit. They'll maybe retrace back up, grab some more orders, and then the true move will initiate. Okay, and that's what happened in this case. Price came pretty close, essentially down to my strike, and then had a 25 pip pop off of it. Okay. And then, and only then, as it came back up and retested some, internal structure, that's when the move came, okay? So, big takeaway message on Nadex especially, pick your strikes carefully. Don't just jump in, 5-minute binary or whatever. You need time for the movement to happen, okay? Most often, you're not going to get that, the movement you truly need right away. Sometimes, if you're spot on with your entries, you can get in and get out, but more often than not, you definitely need, at a minimum, a couple hours, depending on what time frames you're trading. Okay, this was all based off of daily and 4-hour analysis, so I wanted plenty of time to be correct. Okay, I wanted plenty of time for the market to wiggle its way in my favor. Okay. So that's the big takeaway message. Traditional Forex, you just enter, stop, loss, stop, target, entry, stop, target. That's as simple as that. You can set a limit order. You can set, you can enter at market, which is what I did, and just take it. Okay, you don't have to be worried about time limit, but with Nadex, you do have to take that into consideration, which is just one extra thing that technically you shouldn't be worrying about with trading, but with Nadex, that is something that you have to worry about or take into consideration with your trading. So if you're interested in the Forex Bootcamp, make the decision, make your 2019 what it needs to be, okay? And that's consistently profitable, all right? I work with people all over, so it's an 8-week course. If you want more information, shoot me a message. I'll be glad to get back with you. Hope this helps, and take care.